Hey, what's up you guys, and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while. Things have been really crazy. I apologize that I haven't uploaded any new entries to my Code Vein series, and I even said that this video was going to be up much sooner than it's actually going up. It's just been a nightmare. This coronavirus stuff has been messing with all of us. I'm sure you guys can relate. It's really been putting a damper on the state of the world, and it's just really insane and really weird, and it's a lot to deal with. And so I have been dealing with that, trying to get all of my ducks in a row, sort of, making sure jobs are worked out, making sure everything is set up the way it's supposed to be, and just dealing with the general anxiety of the world kind of shutting down and falling apart around me. It's a lot to handle. So I'm sorry that I've been away for so long. It's just been one heck of a couple months. And I am back, though. Things are kind of coming to a standstill and settling down finally. It's kind of a new normal, as people have been saying, but things are starting to feel a little more settled. It's not so chaotic, it's not so crazy. We've kind of got everything worked out. We know where we stand, what we're doing. And so I'm able to settle down a little bit now. And my lovely and amazing Sean is going to be starting Twitch streaming. So I'm going to be promoting him in my next few videos. Probably I'll have links to his information for his Twitch as well as his YouTube in most likely my next video. So we're kind of working together. We're both wanting to do videos. He wants to do Twitch for gaming. I want to do my usual. So we're going to be kind of feeding off of each other and just helping each other out. That's really all the updates that I have for you guys. So today I wanted to tell you a story that is spooky and weird, but very much true. It's something that happened to me and a group of my friends, and it's definitely hard to explain. It's hard to figure out what it means. And it's not like, spooky in the sense of ghosts and monsters and stuff like that. It's spooky in the sense of something very ominous happened that doesn't make a lot of sense. So before I tell you the story, I do want to make a little disclaimer and just say that everything I am going to tell you about the story itself is absolutely true. It 100% happened to me and my group of friends, and it was very weird, scary in a way. But any theories that I propose toward the end of the video are just theories. They're just my speculation. So don't come for me, government or shadow government or whatever. I'm not trying to slander. I'm not trying to cause anything. I'm just theorizing and speculating what might have happened to explain what me and my friends witnessed and experienced, because it was very strange indeed. So, on to the story itself. Basically, a group of friends and I, when I was probably like 17 or so, formed a little group to go and do parkour or free running. I've been interested in parkour and free running for a long time, and so I started doing it. I haven't been doing it as much lately for the last few years, but I used to do it all the time. And so we just would get together and go find places to do parkour and practice our techniques and such. And while we were doing this, we liked to do a little bit of urban exploration once in a while. And we were very respectful when we do it. We wouldn't go into anywhere that had no trespassing signs plastered everywhere and stuff like that. Even if it was abandoned, if it had signs saying, don't come here, we wouldn't go there. But if there was no signage, nothing saying, oh, don't trespass here or whatever, we'd go check it out. We'd go into abandoned buildings and check them out and see what they were like inside, and just it was an interesting kind of experience to have together, and so we like to go do that. And there is a location where we did some urban exploration while we were doing parkour that some of you may know now is the Shake Shack in Sandy, Utah. It's been turned into a Shake Shack, yes. After hearing this story, you will wonder what exactly went through someone's head to turn that into a Shake Shack and what it was before. It's on like 111th South and State Street. And it used to be a school, an abandoned school. Obviously it was an actual school at some point in the past, but it was shut down in like 1975. I've done research on this place since then. And in 1975 it had been shut down, it was not used, and it just sat there collecting dust until somebody converted it into this Shake Shack. And we were practicing our parkour on like the portable buildings outside of this place, and it was nighttime. It was kind of, I mean, it wasn't super late, but it was like 8, 9 o'clock, so it was getting dark, and we were just jumping between the rooftops of these portable buildings outside of the school and practicing our jumps and such. And we thought, hey, you know, there's no trespassing signs around this school. Why don't we go into the school and check out what the actual school is like and see if it's kind of cool inside. And we just wanted the thrill of going and checking it out, and so we all agreed, and we were like, yeah, let's go check this place out and see what it's like inside. There's no signage anywhere telling us not to, no fences or anything like that, so let's just go. There's a lot of broken windows. I'm sure we can just hop in through one of them and see what's up. So we found a broken window, and my 3 friends jumped in before me. They all hopped through the window and started walking to the right of the window, because when you hop through the window, it was right next to a door, and there was like a hallway going across in both directions. And so they went off to the right, and I hopped in, and the second I hopped in, I heard a noise, and it wasn't like anything outside, it was from inside the building, and it was this whistling sound, just this like. And I was like, what in the world is making that sound? It sounds like an alarm. And almost at the same moment, I looked down and noticed that even though it was small, there was a freaking laser grid on the floor of this abandoned school. And I mean, I wouldn't exactly call it a grid, but there were lasers going between the hallway and the doors and stuff like that. I mean, it wasn't, you know, a full-blown crisscross grid like you see in the movies and stuff, but there were lasers in this place, and we had set off an alarm by stepping through one of the lasers. I apologize, I have something in my eye. And I called out to my friends immediately and was like, guys, there's lasers, there's an alarm going off, we need to leave, like, right now. I mean, there may not have been any signs, but we're obviously not supposed to be here because there's lasers everywhere, and that is an alarm going off. And that, in the moment, I was panicking, so I didn't really think about it. I was like, oh crap, we're gonna get in trouble, we need to leave. So in the moment I was panic mode, and I wasn't thinking too deeply about what exactly that meant. But looking back, it's like, why was there a laser grid at an abandoned school that was shut down like 35 years prior? It made no sense. Like, looking back, it's like, why in the world do they need such high security for a school that nobody's using, that's just sat and collected dust? I mean, I'd understand if they were using it for something, but they weren't. It was just sitting and collecting dust, and it's like, what exactly does that mean for there to have been a laser grid on the floor of this school? That's a lot of security. I mean, a lot of buildings that have alarm systems and high security don't even have a laser grid. Like, lasers are high-tech security, at least in my opinion. And so that alone kind of weirds me out. Like, what was that? Why? And so we all jumped back out the window, and there was like a wooded area behind this school where there were lots of trees, lots of grass and hills. And so we just kind of bolted out that way because we were like, oh crap, like we don't want to get arrested or anything. I mean, there was no signs, so we could feign ignorance, I guess, and be like, we had no idea we weren't supposed to be here, technically speaking. But still, the fact that it was that high security, we were all panic mode, so we just bolted off into the woods behind this abandoned school. And we just laid low, literally like laid low on the ground and looked through the trees and observed for a minute. And at first it was just a security truck that showed up. It was like the security guard of that building. This truck pulled up. It was unmarked. It wasn't like an actual security company. It was just a truck. And a guy got out with a flashlight and was looking around and checked some terminal on the wall of the school and looked into the windows and stuff like that. And we were like, okay, well, maybe they're still using it for something. Maybe they're using it for storage, because there had been buildings we had found before that, yeah, they were being used for storage and they had no trespassing signs, and it was like, okay, maybe they're doing something like that. So we didn't worry about it too much. We waited for things to cool down for a minute for him to stop flashing the flashlight everywhere, and he got back in his truck, and we were like, okay, let's get out of here. Let's just go home. It's been weird. Let's leave. And so we went back through the woods, not back toward the school, but just kept going further into the woods and then out and around, and came out to like a gas station that's right on the corner, because there's I think it's a St. Clair right there on the corner by that abandoned school. And so we went over to the gas station. One of my friends wanted to run in and grab a drink, so they ran in and grabbed a drink, and then we went back to the car. And we had parked, you know, quite a distance away from the school, just because there wasn't really a lot of parking right on State Street right there by the school, so we had parked like over in a neighborhood and walked the rest of the way. And so we went back to the car, got in the car, we were all like, whew, okay, we're fine, we didn't get in trouble. That was scary. It's dissuading us from doing this anymore, because that was a weird experience. And we started driving home. Now this is where it gets really weird. What we saw when we drove past the school and were heading home was like unbelievable to all of us, and we were all just looking at each other like, what the hell is going on? Why is this happening? Because what we saw were about 15 cop cars and SUVs, the security truck that was there before, 5 or 6 black SUVs, pitch black, tinted windows SUVs, a shitload of cops, and a bunch of guys in suits wearing sunglasses at night. I'm not even kidding you. That is literally what we saw. There were a bunch of dudes in suits and, you know, what looked to be undercover, secretive SUVs and cops everywhere. And we drove slow past it because we were like, what the hell? And so this abandoned school that had been abandoned since 1975 not only had a high security laser system, but they had a response of not only probably half the police force of Sandy, but weird undercover black SUVs that I don't know what agency they were with. I don't know if they were FBI, if they're the freaking Men in Black, or what they were, but they were weird black SUVs. And we just kept going and went home, and we talked about it, and we were like, what did we just step into? What in the world was in that abandoned school that it required such a response and such high security? And so, and you know, this was a long time ago, so it's all done in the past now, and nothing ever came out of it. I mean, we never got approached by anybody, so it's not like in the movies where it's like you stepped into some secret government base and they found you and came for you and stuff. And so I don't know. It was very weird. It was very uncalled for, I guess. Like, by my logic, it was uncalled for. It was like, why do you need this level of response for an abandoned school that's been sitting collecting dust for 35 years? What is the point of that? So I have some theories. And this is the part where that disclaimer takes place, and I want to make sure to note that, like I said, these are just theories, so don't come for me. I'm not trying to slander. I'm not trying to make any crazy conspiracy. I'm just trying to understand what exactly I witnessed and what exactly happened. And in so doing, I'd like to propose some of my own theories. One of the most logical and believable theories that I have actually came from my father, and that is that he said when he used to be involved in the police force that occasionally they would select like abandoned buildings and stuff like that to plant a bunch of drugs in and help train the drug dogs. So they would plant all these different variety of drugs and use that building to train the drug sniffers, the drug sniffing dogs. And so his theory was maybe that's what they were doing with that building, and so the building was filled with a bunch of illicit drugs, and that's why it was so high security. Another theory of mine was that maybe there was some sort of underground something that they were hiding, some sort of federal base or an entrance to, you know, the secret tunnels the government supposedly has underground, or, you know, maybe they were turning the place into like a FEMA camp. I don't know. I mean, I've been into conspiracy theories for a lot of years, so my mind can come up with all kinds of crazy stuff about what that could have meant. But I just wonder if it was some sort of secret base, either underground or in the school itself, and that they were using that school, and that would make sense to me in a way, because why would you leave a piece of property like that just sitting there for 35 years? Why wouldn't you do something with it? Especially on a busy road like State Street. Like, I'd get it if it was in some back alley of some suburban area that nobody cared about, then yeah, sure, let it rot. But on a busy road like State Street, that's prime property. Why wouldn't they turn that into a business? I mean, they have now, but why would it sit there for over 30 years without being turned into anything? Why would they not make use of that property that is prime advertising property if they weren't hiding something there? If they weren't using it for something and just keeping the building there as a front? So that's kind of my theory. I mean, I'm more keen to believe the theory my dad had, that they were just using it to train drug dogs or something like that, and that's why it was so high security, because that just makes more logical sense. But it's interesting to think what it could have been. You know, that it could have been some sort of secret facility. That it could have been some sort of secret shadow government Men in Black training ground or something. It's just interesting, because it was a very weird and unexplainable situation that didn't make a lot of sense to any of us. So making sense of the nonsensical leads to a lot of crazy theories. So that is my story. That is what I wanted to tell you guys. That's my theories. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was worthy of me telling you guys this over YouTube. I've kept it to myself for a lot of years because I have been into conspiracy theories for many years and stuff, so there are certain paranoias and fears that I have that probably aren't logical, but they're just something I picked up over the years, and so I was worried, oh, well, you know, maybe I shouldn't tell this story. Maybe I shouldn't post it on the internet because maybe I'm gonna get, you know, abducted by the Men in Black or something if I do. And I mean, obviously that's kind of a crazy paranoia, but it's just, you know, that just in case thought that, you know, what if something were to happen to me because I posted this online? But, you know, they've turned it into a freaking Shake Shack. So I'm like, how important can it be if they've turned it into a freaking Shake Shack? I mean, obviously something was going on there. It wouldn't have had that response if not. But whatever was going on there is obviously in the past. It's obviously done and over with and no longer relevant because it's turned into a fast food chain now. So I feel comfortable telling this story now, and I wanted to share it with you guys, and I thought YouTube was a good medium of doing that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed my little spooky story, and like I said, it's absolutely true. You can go drive by that Shake Shack if you want. If you happen to live here in Utah, go drive by it and see for yourself the building that all that craziness happened in. And maybe one day I'll figure out what it was. Maybe they'll declassify something and say what was going on there, or who knows, maybe one day I'll learn the truth of what happened there. But for now, all I can do is come up with theories and share this spooky little story with you guys. So thank you for watching. Please hit that like button and subscribe to me if you haven't already. I really need the subscribers, so please, 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 I'm asking you nicely. I'll be real cute. Just do it. Just subscribe. And share this video if you enjoyed it. And if you think anyone you know might enjoy it, by all means share it. And I will see you guys in the next video. I love you all. Mwah.